hope I'm audible. Just a moment. I will clear that. Good evening. Hello. So, shall we start the class? Is it okay?
So yes, sir.
Is it visible? Okay. So we'll start. Just a moment.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Light is it? Just a moment. Okay. I think it should be visible now. So we'll start. So, everyone, good evening, and I hope everyone is safe as well. And you would have seen the message that UPSC has postponed uh, preliminary examination. So so you should, as we discussed, you should not now think about uh, how we are going to prepare. Rather, you should start planning now itself, so that it will really help you. Uh, this period you will not get again. So I urge you to one thing. Please, it's very tough to study. That is what we discussed in that last class itself. I told you, it is very difficult. Very difficult. Normally, also it is not possible to study. But with this news, every time news and whole postponement, things like that, it is very hard to study. But what I say is that this kind of time in UPSC you will not get. My whole problem, I think I would have told you in the first class, I wrote 8 mains. Yeah, I wrote 8 mains, and if you see in those 8 mains, what the issue, what happened was, I could not even get one attempt break, or I could have actually settled one break, one time I could have taken a break and I could have written. But the UPSC is like this gambling thing. It is I sorry to use that word, but it is like a gambling in the sense that your mind actually gets fixated on that thing which is happening in the exam every time. So you will be like in gambling, you would see விட்டது குடிக்கிறோம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. So this time it will clear. So this time only 2 marks left. This time only 5 marks left. This is how it went. So every time I used to go to interview, every time it will be like 2 marks, 5 marks, or sometime very twice, I think twice it was 2 marks continuously. So I missed the final list by 2 marks, 2 marks. So I used to think that I will get a break one time and I will prepare well and I'll write. But when the scores come, I'll see that my mark is 2 marks from the cutoff. So again I'll be like, okay, only 2 marks left, so this time we will give. But what happened was I couldn't get even a small breather, small time also I couldn't get. The whole 10 years of last decade, from 2010 to 2020, this whole decade went in this one cycle only. I couldn't even go to any of my friends' marriage. No, I never visited all my college friends. No marriage I visited. No, what to say? No tour. Nothing. All because, not because of all this. What to say? Very sincere studying. No, I got into this cycle. And I could not even come out. Why I say this is now, because now you have got this time, this time extra, 3 months, 4 months. This is not for relaxing. That is what I wanted to say. And I completely agree, it is mentally very hard to study with all this which is going around, and with all this fear, it is very tough. But what I am saying is that we have to make peace with whatever is happening. So we have to use whatever time we have. So this is the time, if anyone really wants to clear, means the first attempt, somebody will say, first attempt, is it possible to clear? Now is the time, you have got the time. First attempt you can clear, second attempt you can clear. It is not necessary to give 4 attempts, 5 attempts, wait for all these results, wait for completion of whatever things. You have time now. Read whatever is possible, read appropriately for the exam, how to clear the exam. One time enough. If you write, you will clear. Okay, now we'll go to the topic called as regionalism. Okay, today I think last class, uh, la- okay, last class what we saw was women and women's rights issue, right? Finished women's and women's issues, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. Okay. So it's good. So we can. So we'll go to the next in the syllabus. Check that syllabus. In that syllabus, you will have regionalism, communalism, secularism. Okay. So in this class, we will see regionalism and communalism. Next class, we will see the next subsequent things. But in this class, we will see what is regionalism. Okay, and communalism. So first, I'll give you one thing called as one. This was an experiment done in Harvard. Okay, so what they say is that there are two babies. So this is a baby one. Okay, there are two babies, and there was a second baby. This is baby two, and there are two dolls in front of the baby. Two dolls. Okay. What happens is that the scenario is that these two babies have to choose one doll. Okay, one doll, these two babies have to choose. But Anna, before choosing, what happens is that this doll is made to beat this doll. That is, doll 1 is beating this doll 2. Then the experimenters let the baby choose the doll. So which doll they would choose? Baby 1, baby 2, which doll you think they will choose? Any idea? Doll 1, is it? Doll, doll 1, sure. Doll 1 is have this doll 1 is beating doll 2. Okay va, adan point. Doll 1 beating doll 2, and these two babies are asked to take a view. Okay, doll which wins, actually very very good, Archana, very good. Okay, doll which wins. But the answer is both these babies choose doll 2. It's not sympathy. It is something called, there is a difference actually in my one of my forest service interview. There was a very nice madam. She asked me this question: differentiate between sympathy and empathy. Okay, there is a slight differentiation. Sympathy is feeling bad for someone. Yeah, that is sad for someone. Someone, for example, something is happening. Okay, very sad is happening. Yeah, but empathizing. This is a different word. Empathy. Uh, yes, empathy is very good. That is the point. Empathy is putting yourself in that person's shoe. So in the sense that these are small babies, whether they will have this or now is not a question at all, because every human being has this capability. We cannot just feel sorry. Actually, we can if we think now, we can even stand in the other person's shoe, and we can think in their problems, how they are viewing this world. This is what people keep saying, you should understand other person's view. We usually don't do that. Yeah, but Anna, babies have this. That is what I'm saying. It is actually genetically, biologically in our gene to empathize with the other person. If somebody is suffering, for example, doll 2 here is suffering, so immediate reaction would be, both these babies, what they will do, they will pick up doll 2. This is a fact. You can even think about, for example, this example I give. Mother, when she, for example, mother and a baby are there. If the mother is slightly crying, if the mother feels the slight crying, you immediately think what the baby will do. The baby will take the doll which she has or he has. The baby will give it to the mother. You think about this. This happens, you will see in everyone's house. Why is that this has been ingrained in our brain to empathize with the other person. But the scenario changes now. This is the normal thing. But now what happens? Now you tell me what happens again. So they have changed the scenario. The next scenario, this is scenario 2. So they are changing the scenario. Now what they do, they have the same baby. Okay, same baby, same doll, the same doll is beating the same doll too. Okay, but Anna, one change what they do is that they make this baby wear a red color dress, and they make this baby wear a red color dress. Sorry, this doll red color dress, and some other. So not red means you don't take literally. I'm saying this baby wears same color, and this baby wears this color. Yeah. Now again this doll is beating this doll. Now what will be the choice of each person or each baby? Now what will be the choice? Same color. Okay. Same color. Oh, you're saying same color. Okay, okay. Okay. Any other answer? Now same doll 1 is beating doll 2 then. Now you understand the point. We are empathetic towards someone suffering. But Anna, when you are wearing the same dress now, same thing then or no, same this thing would have come. But Anna, it is true. The answer what you gave is true. This doll 1, in spite of beating this doll, this baby picks up this doll, and this baby picks up this doll. And this is what happens in everywhere. For example, you can think about fighting between you guys would have, somebody would be supporting Congress, somebody would be supporting BJP, or somebody is supporting ADMK, DMK. You see the fight which happens. If you say something means this is what they have to do. They are very good. The point of the matter is that we don't address what is happening. Instead, what we do, we blame each other. This is a feeling. US, for example, for example, I saw that where Israel Palestine is there, I do not know. But based on the party ideology they have in India, somebody is supporting Palestine, somebody is supporting Israel. This is a very, that is what I'm saying. This is what is called as dichotomy. Or if you see, this is what you can term it as ethno, or this is the basis, that is, this is the basis of biology. But how it manifests means it is called as ethnocentrism. Yeah, this is what we do. And for example, you can if you there is one book, okay, this book is called as The Righteous Mind, if you're able to see. But see, any book reference which I am giving, don't read it now. It is for your reference for the future, okay, after you become IAS. But after you become IAS, please read all these things. Because this bias, human beings have this bias. That is, my team is the only best team. Where I am there, that is the only best angle. But Anna, how do we change that? So for an IAS officer it is very important, or an IPS officer it is very important. Whomever it may be, you should be balanced down. Yeah. And how do you do that? Na, the Righteous Mind, Jonathan. Yeah, there is one whole full book about social psychology relating to this phenomena called as ethnocentrism. What this book says, same thing it says. That is, when you are, for example, when you belong to some culture, okay, that is what is called as ethno is ethnic, okay, that is culture. You belong to any culture, or you belong in culture. I think in first class I would have told you many facets are there: material, non-material, okay? Remember all those: material, non-material. You can put down everything: language, religion, caste, okay? uh, all these things, if you see, what is the meaning of ethnocentrism is that as a result of being a member of a particular ethnic group, okay, as a result of the member of a particular ethnic group, you feel that that group is superior. It is not that my group is good and all. It is like you will feel ethnocentric means you will feel that the religion you are in, the language which you speak, or the caste in which you are, these are all social groups. If you remember the first class, there would have been something called as social groups. We would have seen. Yeah, these are all social groups. So when you belong to a social group and you think that that social group is very superior, and that is what is called as ethnocentrism. So this is a feeling of superiority. And what superiority now we are going to talk about is feeling of superiority of a particular region. Yeah. So some region, south, we belong to south. For example, let us assume south. Now we think that south is very. It is being. We would know the arguments. Like politics. I don't want to get into politics. Na? I'll give you the arguments, but you will have this fight which is going south versus north. In UPSC groups, I have seen. Okay, all India groups. All India Telegram groups. Okay, I am not a member of any of the groups, but students show me the things which happen in that group. They keep fighting. You belong to the same UPSC exam now, but Anna, north is better, south is better. Because of south only mark is not coming, because of north only mark is not coming. Such kind of thing happens to come because of this ethnocentrism. This is a biology. Okay, this is the biology behind that. Now we have to go to what is the types of regionalism. So ethnocentrism, that word you have to know. And the types of, next types of regionalism. There are three types. Yeah, there are three types. One is supra-state regionalism. I'll explain each one separately, but just supra-state. Yeah, supra-state regionalism. So in the sense that uh, women organization, in the sense that whole thing only. What we have completed is that women role of women and women organization. If you see, we saw that social reform movements like Jyotiba Phule and those and all, if you see pre 1950 women's movement. But after that also the same thing only, same you can write the same thing only. Maybe one extra factor you can read, which is called as National Women's Commission. That you can actually read, National uh, Women's Commission. But that is what I said, we will complete the whole thing in an overarching view. Women's organization, there is no separate things like that. Okay, National Women's Commission, this you can read it, that is why I gave you the complete picture of whichever from start to end what happened. In that, what are all the organization, you can take it, but they will not ask specifically something you can take. But now come to the point where supra state and then substate. Sure. Third is subnationalism. So now we will see each one separately. Okay, types of regionalism, we will see each one separately. So first is suprastate. This suprastate regionalism means that a collection of one or more states, that is a feeling of regionalism where there is a collection of one or more states. For example, I will give you this thing called as Dravidian movement, or Dravidian, you can take Dravidian regionalism, something. That is when one regionalism where more than one state group together to form a regional identity. So if you see here in the same first class, remember the Dravidian language group. Dravidian language group will belong to Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, parts of Maharashtra. But Maharashtra is not included per se. But this Dravidian regionalism, what they did was they grouped the states in South India together into a region, and they said that this region is being deprived of the northern region, and hence we want more resources. And if you see this movement at one point before that, this is before 1950. Yeah, at one point it was a movement where, for example, they wanted to if this is the northern Sri Lanka, okay, North Sri Lanka. North Sri Lanka is where, for example, LTTE, this is the place where LTTE was stronger. That is, this is the place where in Sri Lanka Tamils live. Okay? The northern part they will live, and it is very close to Tamil Nadu. It is very close to Tamil Nadu. So at one point, what was the Dravidian ideology, or the parties which are there now, DMK or ADMK? If you see their root, it is Dravida Kalagam. Okay, Dravida Kalagam. It is called as Dravida Kalagam, and before 1950s, it was the demand of Dravida Kalagam for a separate region. Okay, a separate region of Dravidian states. But Anna, at one point, what it went was, it even went to the extent of thinking about a greater Tamil Elam. Okay, greater Tamil Elam. Even today, somebody speaks about it, but anyways, that is a different thing. But they'll just mention that, yeah, it is today seditious. The Sedition Act will come. Yeah, Seaman. But Anna, he is not true, in the sense that why I did not say Seaman was, if we really thinks that he wants to separate now, he should force all these things. What he is doing is that he is inciting now, inciting the feelings of people in the name of it. But let us leave that, the politics. But what I am saying is that this thought came about, and this is what is called a supra state. See, many states are grouping together to form a regional identity, my region. And next example, this I will come, the clubbing of North Sri Lanka with Tamil Nadu wanted for a separate state. I will come to that in a later. Greater Nagaland, very good. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, very good point. How did you know? Did I teach? Did I teach? Is it? Did I teach this topic? Oh, internal security. Okay, 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 okay. Very good, very good. Anyways, okay, that's anyways good. Let us group it together and we can have it. But anyway, so in this is Greater Nagaland. So Nagaland will be here, and this is Manipur. Yeah, and if you see there is one thing called as, if you happen to see in this picture, the states, you see the map of that, it will be like this. It will be like this. That is, this is Nagaland. It will be like this, Nagaland. Okay, Manipur will be like this, and Imphal. This is here. Okay, it is like this. What is the demand of Naga? Naga, if you see, Naga is not single tribe. Naga is a group of 20 tribes. What these 20 tribes are demanding is a separate state. But Anna, what at one point they wanted a separate nation. They said they belong to the Mongolian race and they wanted a separate nation, but they went into there was a movement of a reconciliation, and Nagaland was formed as a separate state, but still the movement was on. The Greater Naga Limb movement was still on, but this movement now has attained what to say? Okay, they are in ceasefire because the leaders of that movement, Muiwa, the leaders of the movement, have grown old now. I think they are more than 80 or something. So because of the lack of leadership, the movement has now come down, and they have even they have got into that idea that being with India is better. You go to Southeast Burma, you will not get better HDA index, or you will not get better resources. So being with India is better. So there is a reconciliation happening now, but still the movement is simmering. So what they will do, there is a road leading to this. There is a road, it will lead to the center of the Manipur. Through this only all the resources go. Yeah. But Anna, this Greater Naga Limb demand, what they ask for, Khalistan, you are saying, okay, Kurdistan, Kurds you are saying in the sense of Central East India you are asking, is it? Sorry, Central Asian, Middle East you are asking, la? Okay, yes, Middle East, Kurdistan, if you see, Kurdistan is a one region in the sense that it will be like this. Okay, Iraq and Iran, if you see, Kurdistan will be somewhere right here. Okay, Kurds, but Anna, that is not completely regionalism. Why? Because Kurds are what I am explaining is Middle East. Problems in Middle East. In Islam, there is three sect. Not only three, there are many. Shia, Sunni. You would know that. Okay, Shia, Sunni. There are three. Shias are there. Shias are less actually. Shias are less. Yeah. Ahmadiyya, but Ahmadiyyas, if you see, that is what there is a ladders. Like for example, they will have sub groups, but on a major group, if you see, it will be Shia Sunni. Maximum 80% or 70% of this world population Islam is Sunni, and this is around 20 something population. But Kurds are one set of Islamic and ethnic population. This is one separate ethnic population. That is, they have separate culture. They belong to Islam now. But what they say is that our culture is different. So hence they are asking for a separate region. And you could very well actually say, correct them. Like for example, we in Tamil Nadu, they asked for a separate region, but here it is Kurdistan as a separate region. True. Okay, in Tamil Nadu, we asked for a or we in 1950s asked for a separate state based on the cultural identity of language. So they asked for a cultural identity based on ethnicity. They asked for a separate region. Correct. Okay. Now come to this. So that is internationalism. Now come to this point where where I was saying that in the Manipur, Nagaland, so resources come here. This Nagaland, how it will be now? This Naga tribe is more here also. So their demand actually comes till here. So they want a state like this. So they want this extra territory. That is why it is not possible to give them the territory that easily by the center. It is not an easy joke to give away some territory of particular state. It will create a huge law and order. On the field, it will be burning like anything. So it's not possible at all. So, but in order to arm twist center, what they will do, they will block this road. Once they block this road, all the resources to Manipur gets blocked down, and as a result of which the inflation in Manipur goes like anything, and hence they will be given some concession even when their leaders are down. Now all their leaders are above 80. Yeah. And hence it is not possible, but they keep flaring up this conflict through this route only. They'll break down this transport, and they will ask for it. So this too is called as what is that, supra state regionalism. Okay. Now come to this sub-state regionalism. Okay, now come to this sub-state regionalism. There are many examples. You can quote many examples in this, but I will use the example which I used to write in geography. Actually, it is a very repeated question in geography. So I will explain that in the sense that this is Maharashtra. If you see, one strange fact is that the Western Ghats is here. So what happens is that the southwest monsoon, so it will be like this. So this is equator. So when the winds cross here, they'll attack like this. So there will be two streams. One stream will go this way. So Aravali, it will go parallel to this. So this is southwest monsoon. Yeah, but this when it hits this Western Ghats, yeah, how it will be now, it will be like this. Let us assume like this. Yeah, when the air goes up, all the rain will come down. This you would have seen in geography. Yeah, but when it descends like this, it is called as the leeward side. When it descends like this, no rainfall will be here. And if you see this region, if you see here clearly, when it descends here, this Maharashtra region, or you can think about this complete like this, it will come. It will be like this cone type of thing. All this region are rain deficient. This area is a complete rain, but this area is rain deficient. And if you see, I will take one example, Maharashtra. Yes. Vidarbha, exactly, Vidarbha. So this area is called as Vidarbha. Yeah. So this is Vidarbha. But you think about this, our GDP, this is a very important data. You can see, you cannot have so many data. Yeah, yesterday I would have told you in previous classes also. So many data, it is not possible. But some data you should know. Yeah, it is enhances your view, enhances your answer also. So our GDP you should know. Yeah, how much is our GDP? India's GDP, you know? Any idea? India GDP? India's GDP you should know. Okay, that number. If today I'll tell you, you can remember that number. No, 5 trillion we are aiming. 135 lakh crore. No, actually 2 trillion. Okay, no, 2 trillion. 3.5. Okay. 20 lakh crore. Who is that? Gunal. Very good. 20 lakh crore. Yeah. 200 lakh crore. Sorry, 200. Tamil Nadu is 20 lakh crore. 200 lakh crore. But Anas, have this simple number in mind. It is $2.7 trillion. Yeah, dollars. This number, please remember, it is $2.7 trillion. Somebody said $5 trillion. $5 trillion aim. Okay, we are aiming for $5 trillion. And I will also tell you one fun fact. For example, this $2.7 trillion, it is for India, whole India. We are 1.3 billion population. Yeah, this 1.3 billion population, $2.7 trillion we are able to make money. But Anna, 4 people in this world. One on the Facebook, another Google, another Amazon, and another Apple. These four entities are equal to $2.7 trillion. These 4 entities, if you see, are equal to India. So this Mark Zuckerberg fellow, this Google fellow, this Amazon fellow, same, if you see, are equal to $2.7 trillion. But chuma, that is a chuma fact. But come to this 2.7 trillion. But in this, if you see, in this Maharashtra is equal to $500 billion. 500 billion. This number you don't have to know. Okay, just I'm telling you. What this $500 now? All the $500 is concentrated in 2 areas. One Mumbai, another Pune. Pune also it is not that much. But if you see all the industries, whatever industry you want, whatever you think, it will be in that region. So this region, which is in the rain shadow region, which is called as the Vidarbha region, does not share this $500 billion. So that when that happens now, when you are the one leg is growing like anything and the other leg is not growing now, it will be like in the gym. If you see, somebody would be putting heavy weights for only biceps now. It is a very dangerous thing. You will actually hurt yourself. So many you would have seen only biceps. They will not do leg exercise, nothing. If you do that, it will be a hurting thing now. Same way is the case with the region. So one region, if it keeps growing now, other region, if it is not growing, it is actually a very unequal status, and hence they are asking for a sub-regionalism or sub-state regionalism. So they are asking separate state all along. They are asking for in the sense that please consider also. And this is one example. Yeah. And this you can, for example, geography also you can write this example, and you should know. Okay. And why this question keeps coming in UPSC now? You would hear about farmer suicide. Yeah. There is a person called as P. Sainath. He extremely, in Hindu he writes, completely covers this region. Okay? So India, there were around from 1990 to 2020, I think. So no, I think 2000, not 2000, 2015 somewhere. So this data only is there. Nearly around 2.5 lakh farmers have committed suicide. So 2.5 lakh farmers have committed suicide. And what this Sainath has found is that majority have been in this region. Yeah, majority have been in this region. And UPSC, that is why I asked this question. What is the reason for all these things now? So you can write one of the reason as this Vidarbha region. Why the problem comes is that this Vidarbha region does not have water. But now what they grow, they grow sugarcane. Sugar mills, there are so many sugar mills around there, and hence every farmer starts growing sugarcane. But sugarcane, if you see, needs a heavy amount of water. And heavy amount of water, how will you bring the water when there is nothing coming from southwest monsoon? You will not give. So, but now they do plow it, and hence when they do plow it, they have to depend on water table or something called as groundwater. But as I told you, this is a very water intensive crop, and hence it sucks up all the groundwater. So you sucks up all the groundwater, you sugarcane. So one year, if for example El Nino comes, So El Nino comes, this southwest monsoon goes away, and hence what will happen is that these farmers will lose what they have got from the bank, and hence what will happen is that automatically this suicide does happen, and this is the reason. You can write this. This was a very important question in geography. That is why I gave this. In geography also, I think geography option regionalism is one concept. In that you can write this. Okay. Next example. Two examples I'll give. Okay. Next is you can think about Andhra Pradesh. This is a famous example. Same way, if you see the same diagram, it will actually repeat. This region, you think about this region, how it is. In this plateau, this is a geographical region. You think about this region. You have this region. You completely see the development in this region. It will be like only very few development in southern Andhra. So you would have seen a movie called as Kurvi lam pathirikingala, Kurvi. So this Kadapa, Kurvi, have you seen? Kurvi movie, Vijay's movie, very important, nice movie. So, so that movie, if you see the where the scene is now in the scene now, and you would have seen the bonded labor. So everyone, why such kind of exploitative? I saw that is not bad Mocha movie, but it came in my college. I saw twice. Yeah, twice I gave money and I saw. Yeah, it was okay. But anyways, I did so many horrible things in college. This was one thing also. So I was a fan of Vijay at that time. So two times. But anyways, but what I'm saying is that this region, all this region in the exploitative institution of bonded labor, இதுல தான் the bonded labor. So bonded labor, exploitation or rape of or molestation, இதெல்லாம் நிறைய இருக்கும். So this region, but in Andhra Pradesh now in the region we explained, but on a major region fault on this region, which is called as Telangana. Okay, and if you see this area, this this Andhra Pradesh coastal region, which is called as the Krishna Godavari Delta region. You see, it is called as the Delta region. It is so rich, man, so rich. You name whichever Chandrababu Naidu or Rajshekhar, not Rajshekhar, the present son, Rajshekhar Reddy's son is someone. So he is also one person. He is from Rayalaseema, they will say. He is from Rayalaseema, they will say. Jagan Mohan Reddy. They will say that actually he is from this Kadapa area. Okay? He is from Adda Rayalaseema. He is from Kadapa. But Jagan Mohan Reddy, Chandrababu Naidu, or our vice president, for example, Venkaiah Naidu, or you can take Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao actually belonged to Telangana, but why I am saying all these names now? All these people have huge land in the area, like huge land, not 1 acre, 2 acre, no, not like that. Huge amount of land base is there, and hence if you see, this area will be so developed. This area will be so developed, and what immediately at that point, immediately what happened was, immediately the region, either Telangana lies in this region. Telangana, when it lies in this region, and hence it felt that they are not giving proper either, and hence there was a Telangana Rashtra Samiti, TRS. So they are the chief minister now. Telangana Rashtra Samiti. It was a movement for new state, and they got the state. So a sub-regional. This is a sub-state. This is a sub-state movement. And one other example, I will from here itself I will tell you. You can add this. It is a one extra example. So Ganga goes like this. So there is a river called as Chambal River. So it is a very important river. It joins like this. This is a Chambal River, and in this river, it is called. It is in geography called as bad land topography. Okay, bad land topography. Why this bad land topography is that there is huge amount of erosion. Yes, actually, it will be in not Madhya Pradesh. it will join that Madhya Pradesh. But why I am explaining this is that in the Uttar Pradesh it joins. Okay? In this Uttar Pradesh ravine erosion, yes, exactly. So in the Uttar Pradesh is a big state so see the problem which is happening right now. For example, how how to solve the problem, I do not know. That state we'll explain that. I think last class also I told you, state la vandu social change everything has to be done right now. That state is in like the separate country it is. And in that there is a region or in the Chambal when it where it actually gets connected, this region is called as the Bundelkhand region. Part of it is in, yes, part of it is in Madhya Pradesh, but the cone joins in that region in Uttar Pradesh, and this region is called as Bundelkhand. And in Uttar Pradesh there are so many, 4 fragments they are asking for. Actually that whole state we have to divide it into 4, but whether they will do I do not know. Let us leave that. Okay, but Bundelkhand, if you see, this region is where the Phulan Devi everyone comes. Yeah, and this region is because of the drought, everything, nothing happens in that region, and people say that that region is being neglected, and there is a call for separate. Okay, so this is the example of substate regionalism. What is subnationalism? Okay, third one, the subnationalism. So for that subnationalism, we can come back again to this point. Subnationalism, we will come back again to this point. As I told you, Tamil Nadu at before 1950, Tamil Nadu or the parties which were there, which is called as the Dravida Kalagam, wanted a separate country. Yeah. So a sub-state or supra-state regionalism, a regional feeling, when it becomes a separate, ask for a separate country, that means it is sub-nationalism. Same way Nagaland, Greater Naga limb, the earlier call was for a separate country, not a separate state. So they wanted a separate country based on, like, we are from a Mongolian descent, we don't belong to the descent of India, so we'll want a separate country. They wanted a separate thing. But this too, if you see, a movement, a supra-state regionalism or a sub-state regionalism or a regionalism, when it becomes asking for a separate country, it is subnationalism. Same way in the Iraq Leon. Okay? If you see Iraq Leon, Shia Sunni Kurds, they were grouped into Iraq. Okay? The Saddam Hussein actually on the point when you remove the top head, so they knocked down Saddam Hussein. Once they knocked, Saddam Hussein had these 3. Iraq la pathina the composition irukum, Shia Sunni Iraq Kurds irupanga. So he was there to control these 3 groups. But when Saddam Hussein was knocked down, these 3 groups became independent. When these 3 groups became independent, they not only asked for a separate region. So Kurds are asking for a separate country. They are saying that we along with, if you see the map, along with, there will be a territory in Turkey, actually touching that. There will be a territory in Turkey. So they are saying that the Kurd area in Iraq, Kurd area in Syria, Kurd area in Turkey, we will all join together and we will form what is called as Kurdistan. Exactly. Okay. Example of present day Israel, Palestine, that is a very separate issue. That is separate. Okay. That is not regionalism. That is a separate issue. It is an issue of rights. It is not an issue of, I don't think, separate. Okay. Historically, if you see, it's not subnationalism also. Kurdistan, subnationalism. Yeah, Kurdistan, you can say subnationalism, but Iran, you see, Palestine in the point of there, it is like this. Okay, it is like this. So if you see, Britishers had this region. So earlier, this region was Palestine. Yeah. So after World War I, this I think they would have told you. After World War I, Britishers got the protectorate. So before that, this region was called as the Ottoman Islamic Empire. Yeah. After this World War I, Ottoman, in world history you would have read, Ottoman goes down. Okay, Ottoman Empire falls, and the Britishers take control of this region. Why not all these fraud fellows now? Why not in 1990s, 1990s, na, 1919, na, you start having these petrol now. So earlier and all, if you see, petrol was not that great a fuel. But after 1990s, na, this car, everything will pick up. So these fellows wanted this region. So they got the protectorate of that region. But Britishers were in communalism. I will explain this in a little detail. What these fraud Britishers will do now. Yeah, what they did was they will not stay there. Yeah, they in order to have their own money, they will go to such extreme extent. So what they wanted to do was that this area being a very ethnically composite region of Palestine, they started, or in the sense that Jews, slowly they started allowing this settlement which happened, and after World War II, and you will know that Hitler, the things, atrocity he created on Jews, and hence what the Jews felt is that they want a region for them as well, and hence they started coming here. And now the point it's now, this whole region has been occupied. Now slowly all the region which was Palestine on there, now slowly started migration of இது. அதனால இது regionalism-லாம் இல்ல. Okay. This is not regionalism. I don't. This is an historical. Okay, this is not regionalism or something. Supra-state and subnationalism is something simple. Supra-state, many state group together to ask for regional identity. Yeah. My region, my rights, you are taking all the money from me, you have to give me money. Yeah, this is regionalism. Yeah, but another point enna, when that question goes into the fact that you don't have to give me money and all, you are separate, I want a separate country. Yeah, now within India, these 4 states, so this Palestine, don't confuse with this. This is an issue, but a very important issue in international relationship. Please have a look at this issue very closely. Israel is promised land to Jews by God through Moses, and other. See, in the break, I will. Okay, in the break, after the break, I will show you. Yeah, there is a book. I have this book, The Story of Jews, and I will show you that book. Okay, The Story of Jews. That is first 10,000 BC. What happened? And Bible also you can read to know what happened. I have tried to read, but this is the most confusing zone in the world. I do not know how they are going to solve. Anyways, let us leave that. Okay, but I will show you that book. It's an interesting book. After you become IAS, please, not now. Okay, so now come to this. Now you got it. What 4 states grouped together? Sub-regionalism emerged only as a result of a other reasons. Now next we are going to see sub-regionalism, why it is now only one factor, economic kadayadu, many factors, we will see that. Yeah, very good. That is the point we are going to, Archana, that is the point we are going to discuss now. So online, see, in the class actually time I can make it up in the sense that where I am going, how I am going, but online I am not able to have a track of the time. That is a very difficult thing which but I hope it is understandable. So that is why I use different colors, so that you can understand the things which I am saying. So did you get the difference between sub-regionalism and supra-state? Is it okay? Shall I go to the next? We'll finish this and we'll have a break. Okay. 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 So now we have finished this, and now we'll go to phases. Your types, ethnocentrism, and then types, and then now we'll go to phases of regionalism. Phases. Archana asked whether economic reason was the only reason, for these regional demands or not? No, there are so many factors. This is a question. What you asked is a question UPSC asks. Whether language is the only thing. Yeah, not economic. You asked economic, but Anna, what UPSC asked was whether language is the only thing based on which our country has been regionalism has been there in India. But Anna, apdiyan we will see. Yeah, there you can take down each phase. One phase first on the pre-independence. So the main thing you have to note down is the factor now. Yeah. Other things you will see in polity also. So this you would have seen in polity, post-modern independence. So everything you will have seen. So, but Anna, what factor? Okay, pre-independence. So okay, so you can take it as 19 less than 1950. So in that the factor simple, the consequence. Okay, this was the consequence. In that factor, you can think the pre-independence factor was nothing but religion. Okay, sorry, not religion. Sorry, religion. So India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So as we discussed now, the Israel Palestine is like I do not know. That is a separate thing. Adu vandu whose region is under. That is not like my region. You give it me. The fight in Israel Palestine. This is my this is my region. You go away. It is not like my region. You have to give autonomy to me. இதுதான் the வித்தியாசம். Yeah, but Anna, India, Pakistan, they said that based on religion, Pakistan is separate region, Bangladesh is separate region, and India is separate region. So they formed this separate region. And phase one next. And the point, what happened was, in this time itself, in pre-independence time itself, they wanted language-based state. In this in if you see congress manifesto, sorry, not manifesto, or congress meetings in modern India, they will teach you in congress. Yes, Nehru report. Before Nehru report itself, actually before Nehru report itself, 1920 resolution, in congress resolution, they will say that congress committees should be based on 1950. No, I was 1950 next phase. Yeah, next phase. Yes, next phase on the 1950. But I was explaining the language as a root. Eppadi vanduchu? Yes, Congress first day, Congress provisional committees. So if you see, Congress committees should be based on language, and they started. And in 1920s, itself, Gandhiji started this. Gandhiji on the in all these committees, in all these Congress committees, Gandhiji, what he would do is that he will ask the members to speak in their regional languages. Yeah, you should speak in your culture. You'll started. And in Tamil Nadu, the movement earlier itself started. 1890s, okay, 1890s, Tamil language and its purification, and then that is what. Then Periyar came, then the Dravida Kalagam came. All this, it started. Okay, language as a movement started. So when in 1950, when it came to the break, they went and asked for a separate state based on languages. But Anna, you should remember that the whole of India was burning. The whole of India was burning because of this religion as a factor, and both sides committed such kind of atrocities. Even I think, I do not know whether I told you this example, but Anna, Nehru, do you know a speech called as Tryst with Destiny? Any idea? Tryst with Destiny? Yes, this was the speech that Nehru gave before independence. Yes, before independence, this was the speech on the eve of independence. On the night, this is called as the Tryst of Destiny. When the world is asleep, India awakens to light and freedom. This was the speech. But Anna, before the speech, actually, 2 hours or 1 hour, 1 hour before the speech, what happened was Nehru had a village. Sorry, in the sense, not Nehru had a village. Nehru had planned or logistical transfer of one particular village. People in that village were Hindus, and that was in Pakistan, and he wanted to move it to India safely. Yeah. So because of all these carnage which was happening, so he made sure that one village எப்படியாவது எடுத்துட்டு வந்துடலாம். But 1 hour before this, he got the information that that village was completely burned down. Completely burned down. The women in that village were kidnapped. Children were killed. Uh, and actually, what happened was he broke down. He broke down. Literally cried down. He literally cried. He could not even stand, and he could not do any work. But Anna, this is where in this you can use, for example, in GS4, you will have something called as emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. Emotional intelligence, there is a topic in GS4. Why leaders should be emotional intelligence, aware of someone's feelings, someone's are controlling. First awareness is, and then controlling, then using it to good cause. Yeah. In the speech munadi, this thing comes, but Anna, country is waiting. Country is waiting. You have to announce your independence. And what he did, he wiped out his tear, and then he gave in the speech adla, we see only the things which happen, but Anna, behind the scene, how much pain and suffering we don't think. We see only the success. Same way as in the UPSC, you will see only the success da, but Anna, a lot of effort will be there. So don't worry, you will also shine like this just with destiny someday. But now come back to this. Wasn't chuma or example. Yeah, now because blandly saying only the topics does not make any sense. Okay, now come to this point. Now the factor. So as a result of which, இதெல்லாம் வந்து personal loss which happened, as a result of which Nehru was adamant, no language, already everything is burning. Language கொடுத்தா they'll tear each part, each all the direction they will start tearing. So no, it's it. But Anna, there was a person called as Potti Sriramalu. Potti Sriramalu, he went for hunger strike in Chennai or Chittoor, somewhere, and he died. As a result of which, there was fire shooting, yeah, and hence first language-based state was formed, Andhra. And as a consequence of this, there was formed as Andhra state was created. Yeah, because of that, Telugu, Potti Sriramalu na Telugu. Yeah. So the separate state was formed, but Anna, you should know that as a result of which, where valiye illama, they formed State Reorganization Commission. State Reorganization Commission. What is that? 1956. Yeah. So they formed after that many language-based state. So here one factor on the religion. Here take it as language. Yeah, here language. And then phase 2. Yeah, this is phase 1. Okay, phase 1, phase whichever you can. The terminology is up to you. Yeah, you can take. You can make whatever terminology you want. But on 1960 to 70. In this phase, what factor? In this phase, what factor? Now, here the states were formed, for example, and inga language, religion anga vanducha, but ana inga innor same again religion cropped up. Again religion cropped up, and it formed a state called as Punjab. You can say that Punjabi language dana abdin illa. There is in communalism, we will discuss maybe today, if possible, illa next class I will start with that. Khalistani movement irukku. Khalistan movement. Okay, Khalistani movement. Maybe I'll start with that. But Anna, just have this thought. Khalistani movement is not language-based movement. Okay, here Dravida Kalagam or Dravidian ideology was based on language. But Anna, Khalistani movement was based on religion. Why in the differentiation I will tell you. But religion, Punjab came up, and then but this was not the only factor. And there was another factor called as geography also. It starts now. Geography or factor. What is that geography? Na? we will form a separate, actually union territory, then it becomes in 71 state. But ana Himachal Pradesh. Okay, but just to 70, 71 it becomes a state, but 70, let us assume geography becomes a one factor. Then the next phase. Phase 3. Yeah, 1970 to 90. 70 to 90. Here, ethnicity becomes a factor, or tribal identity becomes a factor. Why? Because Northeast State Reorganization. Northeast State Reorganization, it forms. And this Northeast State Reorganization results in so many states, all Manipur, here Nagaland is first. Okay, Nagaland, leave it Nagaland, but Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, you can talk about Mizoram, Tripura, many states, all the states. Yeah. So now another factor, another ethnicity, tribal. Yeah. Then come to the next phase. So phase 4. And in 1990, there was something called as globalization. As a result of globalization, the global values, the global values were imbibed into India, and the global values are nothing but in the World Bank report. What that simple World Bank, we needed money, so we have to go and ask for money to World Bank. World Bank என்ன தெரியுமா சொல்லுவா, if I have to give you money, you have to do all these things. In Mudalvan movie, you would have seen the Raghuvaran scene. If you see, Raghuvaran would point out that they had the money World Bank, they had this annexure 1, 2, 3, you go and get the money, same kind of same, but state cannot get World Bank loan, center can get. The movie was based on state getting loan, but open trade, yes, open trade, World Bank will give to center, center will allocate, because center will say the state எடுத்துக்கோங்க அந்த மாதிரி. Okay, but projects based on World Bank happens in Tamil Nadu also. சரியா, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, many projects are there. But what happened was this movement called as good governance movement. If I have to give you money, you have to give good governance. So why you can get back the money, otherwise you will not get back the money which you are giving. So they'll say order all these things, and hence if you see what factor became good governance, or in the sense, or you can say governance became a factor, and governance became a factor, and we created states called as Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand. But after 1900 governance, but here if you see, there are added features. In the added features, added factors, not see adana only economica, there is no reason, only iduva illa, there are so many factors, and here good governance plus here Jharkhand on the tribal. Yeah, tribal, and this is geography. So if you see, one good governance plus tribal, good governance plus geography, and this Jharkhand movement is similar, similar to Telangana. What happened was, if you see, this region is called as the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau, and if you happen to know, first before this division, Bihar was like this, complete other full Bihar. Okay, full Bihar, gangs of Wasipur. If you have seen gangs of Wasipur, you would have seen both regions same, they were similar, one state. Okay, they were not separate state, they were one state. But Anna, the above this area was the present day Bihar was based on agriculture. But this area, the below was, that is the present day Jharkhand, was a mineral based area. But Anna, not you can name, in the sense that you can name any mineral in the world. You can name whatever, illuminite, sillimanite, what you name the word, even if it does not come in your mouth, you name a word, name a mineral. That mineral is found in this Chota Nagpur plateau. So that much gold and things are, that much resources are there in that area. But what happened was, this resource was taken from by all, especially Bihar, northern part. But Anna, they didn't give back, and hence there started a tribal movement. This started in 1920s itself. So 1920s itself, a mineral area is predominant by tribal region, tribal people, and they started a movement called as Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. I think now the CM Shibu or someone Soren, the Soren family is Jharkhand Mukti Moksha. Moksha means getting rid of the person. That's it. So you don't have to know the name of the party and all, but I'm just saying. So Hemant Soren, Hemant Soren, correct, Hemant Soren. So if you see, not one factor now, not one factor, Hemant Soren, correct. So not one factor, good governance, but Uttarakhand, see, it is good governance plus geography. Yeah, good governance plus geography. And last point you can take as with fifth phase, fifth phase, which is last, yes, phase 5, nothing but Telangana. Telangana, we discussed that it is economic, it is not language. So language is the only reason for making regionalism in India. Abdina, how would Telangana come? Telangana would not have come. Telangana was based on resource depletion, which happened because of concentration in one region. So language is not the only reason. There are so many factors. The point. So Telangana we discussed in that. So we'll take 5 minutes break. Again we'll come and next to what we will discuss now. So this is phases, types of phases. Next to what we have to discuss is that we have, that is what we discussed, that regionalism is leading to different state. India there is 28 state. So if you see whether we have to form more states, that is the question is, next to what we are going to address is, think about it, whether we have to have more states or large states is good. Okay. Whether we have to have small, that is we have to have small state, large state, which is very good for controlling this feeling of regionalism. Okay. So we will think about on this answer. We'll start in 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes break. Is there a third option? Medium. Okay. T-shirt. T-shirt. We are not making T-shirt, love. Phoenix la போயிட்டு sir, small, large, medium. T-shirt. No medium. No. Yeah, but this was a question asked. Okay, this was a question they asked. Yes, actually, that question, UPSC question. So not my question, UPSC question. Okay, so regionalism. So there is so many answers for regionalism. There are so many problems of regionalism. So whether you want a small state or a large state, so pros and cons we have to discuss. This was an essay question. Okay, this was an essay question, not the essay question. So 10 pages we have to write. So many points we have to, pros and cons. You have to argue in the point. Okay. We'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay, so fast. Shall we start? Okay, we'll start. We'll start. So you have to tell me the points for small state. Why there should be a small state, or in the sense that what is the advantages of small state? Actually, pros and cons are there for both. La. If you see pros for small state, now we will discuss. Next, cons, that is disadvantages of small state. When we are discussing small disadvantages of small state, it becomes advantages of large state. அவ்வளவுதான் சரியா? So first we will discuss advantages of small state. What are all the advantages of small state? Inclusive growth. Okay, but first see this, better governance. Example, Uttar Pradesh, simple. Uttar Pradesh, if you see, it is from west to east. If you have to go 3 days, okay, a collector or somebody appointed to monitor the things. That is why it is going in an utter failure. One simple reason now. You see this, why this oxygen is going down now. For simple calculation now. If you see what the scientists are saying or many other are saying is that the COVID death data. Okay, they are low in the sense that the numbers which are there actually more than 5 times the number should be there. So death and serious cases on the 5 times more, 5x. But what they are noting is only x. It is not that, see, it's not like they are criminally mismanaging. That is also there, but see the size of the state, so much big. It is not possible to monitor each and everything, other point. But what happens as a consequence of this, so they are monitoring x, the less in the 4x miss out, this 4x goes missing. So what you will know, they will send this data down. They will send this data where they will send it to center. So center on the not like in this thing this is happening like that, they will not allocate. Center will allocate oxygen based on this number. So this is from Uttar Pradesh. So this is data 2 is from Maharashtra. Data 3 is from Tamil Nadu. So based on this data, what center will do? They will allocate it. They will similarly they will allocate remdesivir. Actually, remdesivir now only center can allocate. Yeah, center only can procure. There is a rule. So based on why they will give this oxygen, based on this number. What is this number? Severity case. So how many severe cases? How many less severe cases? When you have the data, you can allocate properly. But Uttar Pradesh being such a big state, it is not possible. Actually, they are criminally mismanaging also. They are yes. Uh, yes, Mahesh, we'll come to that point. Actually, Tamil Nadu, they are saying 4 states, okay, but first one, Uttar Pradesh has to be broken. Okay, Tamil Nadu, why? I'll say in the sense that whether it has to be broken, Tamil Nadu also, you'll see, okay. But first we will complete this point where they are saying that for better governance, but see this, Bundelkhand we saw sub-regionalism, yeah. But why they are not breaking into the answer, I will tell you. Why they are not breaking is a severe political reason. I'll tell you this. But this is the reason. This is the reason why oxygen is there in India. India is not such a poor country and all. We are not that poor. We are there. Yeah, we are actually there. We have every equipment and all. But because of allocation, when you make it as a small state, it becomes a better governed state. Next, any point? Somebody said inclusive development. Very good. Inclusive development is possible. That is when there is a large state, you have multiple, and you can think about this as Maharashtra. So when there is a large state, it becomes Mumbai and Pune concentrated. But when smaller state na, there can be every region can be accommodated, every region, every party, every person can be accommodated. Inclusive growth, correct. Any other point? Any other point is there? Why small state? Why small state? That question. More opportunity, employment opportunity will be a indirect consequence than a first. What important? So better governance, inclusive development. Think on that. Schemes can be implemented properly. So can we say so? Better utilization of resources. Very good. So can we say? Uh, Okay, tribal and ethnic concerns to break into small region, small state. Adan, when you are forming based on tribal causes, so governance causes, so geographical causes, so you form a small state. Na, adoda consequence enna, pros enna. It will lead to better governance. So based on tribal identity, if they are breaking into smaller state, na, it is going to lead to inclusive development. La. India, la, tribal regions are being neglected. It is true. What we saw in Jharkhand, example of that. So the tribal region, when they form it into a small state, they will grow, and as a result of which India will inclusively grow. La. We are taking along tribals also. But Anna, somebody said no, very good point. Oh, I forgot that point. Is that point? Better utilize schemes. Schemes well implemented, but Anna, you write it as bottom up approach. Bottom up approach. When there is a small state, great. Very good. Illa, great, Archana, but through financial devolution irukuma அப்படின்ற question I will come. Archana, I will come to that point. But whether இருக்குமான்னு யோசிங்க. Okay, but bottom up approach இருக்கும். So better scheme was somebody said better schemes implementation. But instead of writing that, use இதெல்லாம் வந்து governance word. Like you will study all these in governance. The words எல்லாம் you will study in governance. Okay, this should be the heading. Under this you write, okay, bottom up approach, how it will be implemented. Bottom up approach na schemes will be implemented better. Okay, how abdina, you just one small example, think about it. Okay, the in education, let us take education. Seriya, let us take education. Why bottom up approach is important? Bottom up approach na, from the bottom what need is there. Why it is essential na? See this. Let us take Tamil Nadu and Bihar. Seriya, Tamil Nadu has 50% higher adadu college going students. Tamil Nadu has 50%. Okay, India it is 20%. Yeah, leave that. But I'm saying for Tamil Nadu 50% college enter around. So then Bihar it is very less. Very less. I do not know the figure, but very less. Less than India's average. India's average 23. Yeah. So what you have to do in Bihar, you have to concentrate on primary school. Okay, you have to concentrate on primary school. Tamil Nadu you have to yes. Conflicts will get reduced. That's one point, another point. I will come to that. Okay, primary school, but Tamil Nadu you have to concentrate on higher secondary. So when you have small state, okay, if large state, it is not possible. But when you have small state, you can immediately identify the region. Okay, this region needs primary schools. This region needs secondary school. This region needs higher secondary. Or this region needs, for example, a particular region may be nearer to, let us take an example, nearer to iron ore, nearer to iron ore or fertilizer prone zone na, groundwater la this nitrogen seeps in. Nitrogen on the groundwater la seep aidum. When groundwater la nitrogen seeps in na, kidney function, the water you drink, your kidney function will malfunction. Many people in that region want the dialysis. You will need dialysis. So in that region you cannot. So in that region you go have some infection for cholera. On the region la, in that hospital, would you have tablets for cholera or something? In that region, what is essential is you should have faster, faster resilient. So you will have a, what is that, a resilient, or you can term it as responsive governance. In the word use responsive governance. Okay. Next point. Okay, so resilient, responsive governance. So somebody gave one nice point. Okay, what is that point? Uh, Better utilization of resources இருக்கு. Competitiveness, in the point, increase in competitiveness. Increase in competitiveness, that is competitive federalism. Competitive federalism will increase. Why? Because many states when they are there, so when an FDI comes, let us assume an FDI is coming or a company is coming, you will say, I'll give you land, you come to my state. The other person will say, I'll give you tax, you come to my land. So in the competition, so when you have larger state now, okay, like the company comes, we have so many companies, so like that. As a result of this, so somebody, we discussed that another increase in employment. Increase in employment you should not write. Increase in competitiveness will lead to increase in FDI, will lead to increase in FDI, will lead to increase in industry, அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் increase in employment. So in a examination, when you are writing, when you are writing in an examination, how you have to say how you are increase in employment abdina. So you, because essay, okay. Any other question? Somebody said greater, very good, that point is also true. Greater utilization of resources. Okay. Okay, sorry, got messed up. Okay. So greater utilization of resources, correct. Utilization of resources. Resources, you can say both mineral and human. That is, when you are having a small state now, it is very efficient usage of the example Jharkhand. Alda we saw Jharkhand as an example. Okay. So is there any other you can talk about can preserve cultural identity? That also is true. Cultural identity. Trickle down role model approach and trickle down one there. Trickle down is in trickle down approach. That is, you make something and it will trickle down on the larger, smaller, smaller it will be bottom up. Yeah. Cultural identity and better law and order. Better law and order. Yeah, better law and order. So these are all small state. This will be enough, I think. Minority representation. Very good. That also. Minorities, both religion and language. Minority representation. Other in inclusive development we spoke about. Inclusive development, you talk about all these things. Minority representation. Inclusive development, there is a umbrella word, inclusive development. Under that, you talk about how ethnically tribal identity is being preserved. You can talk about language being preserved. You can talk about religious minorities being preserved. When it is a small state now, you can easily give them representation. But when it is a large state now, it becomes very resource constrained. So when we have talked about small state, but now come to when you talk about the cons, it becomes arguments for large state. So first, you can talk about now why it should not be there. So idhula Tamil Nadu, why if it is breaking up Tamil Nadu, you'll actually have a problem. I will tell you why. Sure. Any you can talk about now what are the problems crop up because of this. I'll give you first if many small states first difference of options. What is the difference of option? What is that? Difference of option, no? Difference of option. Oh, difference of opinion. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Difference of opinion. But first important first water fight down. Water fight. Water fight na river water water sharing fight illa. Already see Kaveri and Kaveri in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka is fighting. Okay, but if you has to get many opinions, and the many opinions on the many opinions you can talk about in advantages of smaller state. There you will not have many opinions. Here many opinions will be there. Okay. Here we will talk about the positives. Okay, positive why we should not have small state, why we should have large state. Why we should have large state na small state when you make it will be like water fight everything so Tamil Nadu you break it into four na we group water fight into mineral sharing dispute. Water is separated. Mineral sharing dispute on the separated. Okay. Minerals you can talk about separately, water separately. Yeah. But minerals also you can talk about. But water first. You remember this, and because see when it is being breaked up now, Tamil Nadu, let us assume it is breaked up into four. Already fight. So from Coimbatore, then it comes to Madurai, Trichy. Let us assume all four parts. Yeah. When it from there, Karnataka already fight. Then again four na it will have a complete fight. So this fight will increase. Next, what other things? Next, I will tell you somebody border disputes. Border disputes, Vamshi, no, because border, if you see, most often border dispute, the borders of a state la center da. Seriya, center poidum. Center can easily make it. Center, for example, Article 3. Article 3 in Constitution, Article 2 and Article 3 in Constitution, they both give the center the right to make whichever state they possible, and the borders can be easily managed. So yeah, water problem na problem. Increase in very good in the point very good. Okay, but tax first in the money kondrom. Shivapriya correct, and I think Archana also talked about the resources on the point next. First one, see smaller state. Let us assume smaller state. I'll give you this example. Smaller if a state state is Indian Constitution gives state center. Yes, narrow-minded feeling. Okay, citizen government. Okay, that one point we'll discuss. First, in the Constitution point we'll discuss. State center. See, the powers of each in India, as we discussed, first partition, and hence what they did, they made that India will be a country where it is more prone to center, as partition was rampaging at that time. So, yeah, and Allah, it was more center proclaimed. But the point what is important is that if a state has to be nice now, it has to have money. Okay, how will you have independence? In the sense that how will you have independence in family also? You should be independent. You can say money is not important, but without money, your respect in friends, let us assume friends, your respect goes down. Yeah. This not now. Okay, you have still time, but anyway, future lab. That is why you should have autonomy. Even in marriages, you see, both should have independent autonomy. Correct? And that autonomy when it comes now it will have when you have money. So states எப்படி என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க in constitution states will have a set of taxation, center can have a set of taxation. That is I can be autonomous with the money I make. State center can but center will have a higher thing because as I told you India is a quasi federal state. where it is more tilted towards the center. Okay, so adnala da income tax, corporation tax, if you see, all will be done by the center, but states had the power. Okay, adnala da Tamil Nadu for example had that power. But after post GST, what has happened is that yes, SGST is there, CGST is there, okay, but many of the taxes the states had, yeah, many of the taxes the state had has been clubbed into here. Yeah, many of the taxes, as a result of which what has happened now, most of the money is now with the center. Most of the money is now with the center, and it is said that for Tamil Nadu, there is a 3.5% of GDP இறங்கிருக்கு tax வர வேண்டிய money. That is, they say this amount of money did not come, and as a result of which, if you see, uh, as a result of which if you see, as a result of which the money the state Tamil Nadu made, okay, money the state Tamil Nadu made has become less. Seriya? So now for vaccines, where will they go? And they made they gave so many in the washing machine, all this, it's not actually, it is only partial. Okay, it is only partial now. For example, if you see, 70% of I yesterday I found this data. 70% of our expenditure Tamil Nadu lo vandu salary, pension, government employees. Okay, so not only government, all the functioning, nearly 70% goes out. Yeah, all this, the freebies and solradhu vandu lesser da, but whichever way, the money which we had now has become reduced. Our expenditure has increased. Okay, we need to manage that. That is what is called as fiscal deficit. So center can go and borrow money, but on a state, what it will do now, it will ask for more money. For example, if a vaccine veno, so it will ask with the center now. But you think about it, when the states become small states. Okay, just a minute. Okay, is it visible? Just got stuck. Actually, it got stuck. Just the screen is empty. But anyways, okay, I'll explain. Okay, but screen varla. I think am I audible? Let the screen come, but I will keep talking. Is it audible?
Sir, audio is clear, sir. Audio and video clear.
In the sense, but on a screen is gone. I told you the switching between these two, sometimes it gets hanged. But as I told you, for Tamil Nadu, what will happen is that vaccines, they don't have the money. Okay, already, because of earlier it was okay. Okay, our state was resilient enough to get money, but after GST, most of the money now goes to the center, and as a result of which the money which the state had goes down, and the state goes down now, it is not able to get vaccines. But if a state like Tamil Nadu is not able to get enough money for vaccines, think about the small state. Yeah, small state, they will not have enough money for themselves to make. Small state, yeah, they will not have enough money. So what they will do, post GST, everyone will start asking center dana. Everyone will start asking center na, how will the center fund all these things? So if it is somebody, actually that was a correct question also. Somebody I said small, large, medium na, you can have in the sense that our state the threshold below which it cannot sustain itself, above which it cannot sustain itself. Uttar Pradesh above, yeah, it's above. It is completely above. It has to be broken up. But Tamil Nadu, I do not know whether it can be broken up. It is in the appropriate stage, the appropriate stage of maximum strength. So if you see on the GST after the, so small state na, whether center can compensate everything. It's not possible. Center cannot keep compensating everything every time. So it is not possible to compensate. And in the case of small state, this becomes an issue. Okay. But the next point, this is resources. This is resources. First, next money. Then you can talk about any. And somebody said, any other thing? What is the con of a small state now? You can think about in this way. For example, small. Let us. You are making small state now. Okay. Further breaking. This also you can actually say. Somebody. Okay. Further breaking up. So if you keep giving small state now, it will balkanization. So it will give a balkanization of states, more states. So yeah, all regional feelings will start dropping out. That's a good point. Sure. And any other point? One other point, I think. And one other point, if you see, very good. In the more government officials, okay, you don't think about government officials only. Emergence of numerous regional parties. You can say the regional parties for but in the somebody valid point. States increase, integrity of national may decrease. States whether it can decrease, whether states increase national integrity decrease, that is a question. Okay? That is conclusion. You conclude when in the essay. Okay? But arguments in the point correct. Yeah. Several states. That is true. Topic of government is true, but don't write current no. Yeah, have to spend most no. That point is that point is controversial. But this point somebody said, see, if you are making small state na, officials but you have to make an assembly. Okay, you have to make again some collector office. All these infrastructure you have to build again, infra building. Your state, small state, you should start building one separate building, one separate everything. But one medium state, let us assume one medium state, it will have one proper administration, one proper structure. Lok Sabha seat, this point, that is a political standing. Let us have this political standing in the sense that I explained first. If you see, UP has 80 MPs. 80 MPs. Tamil Nadu has 40. Okay? If you break Tamil Nadu, it will lose its strength. Number of MPs, if you see why 80 MPs they are not breaking that state now, they want that chunk, and the chunk if you see all the prime, you take whatever prime minister, the prime minister, even if it's from Devagowda, also sometime okay, and Narasimha Rao was the only prime minister from south who was for a 5-year period. But most of the state, if you see, most of the prime ministers will be from the north, and they will have the support of this 80 MPs. This will decide the election. This will decide the central election, and that is why they will not break it up. But if you are going to have a better governance now, that has to be broken. But the Tamil Nadu, if you see, it will be in this marginal, the medium. Somebody said, the correct, she said, small, large, medium. So there should be an appropriate stage. It should not go to a larger state also. It should not be a not sustainable state also. It should be in an appropriate stage so that it can move in resources and can help in growth. You can talk about Maharashtra also, okay, but Maharashtra, that Marathwada region is creating a little problem. Otherwise, Maharashtra is also doing good now. And this will be enough. I think this is enough. We can go to the thing. Any other point also you can add, but this is enough, but you can add more points. Yes, we are discussing in the sense of regionalism. There was a question. See, there was a question where they asked whether it is good for having a small state or a large state. So regionalism gives rise to many states. So regionalism, in the case of, for example, substate regionalism, it gives rise to many states. So whether we want to give rise to or give our approval to every small state, that is every sub regional feeling, whether we have to give it up. So that is the question. Yeah. So do you think regionalism is the reason for that? That is, do you think language? Finally you can take a stand. You can finally, yes, that point is good. Finally you can take a stand. Yeah. uh, Discuss both these things and you can. So regionalism, see this regionalism 4 points, but we discussed more. This are this and all is factor. Yeah, this is factor. That, but there are many factors. Like we discussed so many factors in the phases. If you see, there will be more factors. This is reason for state creation, reason against it. But we discussed more. See, and for governance, better delivery of services. But we discussed more. But the reasons against it. Why more states cannot be formed? Wastage of money can lead to balkanization, lead to inefficiency, and create more water disputes. So actually, we have discussed more points. Another I discussed there. In slides, I have less points. Another. Uh, yes, you. That is what you can settle with medium. That is, you can conclude that not large, not small. It has to be autonomous in a particular way. All of them. But next, the fast I the mudichilla. Uh, what is the strategy? So now we have how to tackle this position. Yeah, how to tackle now. Wastage of money that I explained. That is, you will have more buildings. For example, Telangana, now they have formed a state, but Telangana again a new assembly, new building, new infrastructure, everything. Telangana now for new building they built. So, all this summa waste, all this why if it is necessary, it's okay. But building new things and it is a wastage of money. But anyway, now come to this point. How do you tackle regionalism? So how do you tackle now? First point. See, there is a regional feeling, but instead of making a state, why don't you create more district? Simple தானே. Instead of அது வந்து work is less, money is spent is less, everything is less. So it will be and that is what is happening. More states are being built. And the second point, now second point is distribution of growth poles. So what is this growth pole? So growth pole is a geography concept. For example, ஒரு ஸ்டேட்னா Chennai is the growth pole. What? Nothing. It is like Chennai will be the region. So if it is Chennai is the region, Chennai. So in the sense that here is where Britishers had all the, for example, Mylapore or Paris. Paris, that is what is called Paris corner. They brought all the materials here only. So all the goods were brought here. So if you see, when you move to Chennai, you can trade, you can do, or you can buy the goods and you can sell it anywhere. So where you go to Chennai and you become prosperous. Okay? Where you are settled in rural area, it is not possible at all. And that is why everyone started moving into Chennai. So growth. This is what is called as growth pole. Same is the case here in Maharashtra, Bombay and Pune. So why this two region only? Everywhere from here, from Bihar people come, from Punjab people come. Okay, from everywhere people come. So that is the growth pole where you can grow. But if you do that, adana prachana achiko. If Bombay everyone starts going, this region falters. So as a result of which regionalism feeling is cropping up. So how would you prevent that? With the example of Chennai, I will tell you. So Chennai, if it is getting concentrated like this, it is creating a problem. So many other urbanization problem also cropping up. But hence, what you do, you create something called a satellite city. And in Chennai, I think most of you are from Chennai, so you will understand. I think Chennai la Sri Perumbudur is there. You would have seen Sri Perumbudur, and there is in ECR, or what is that? Uh, uh, East Coast Road. In that East Coast Road, you have all the software companies. Okay, all Infosys, CTS, TCS, all are that. And Sri Perumbudur, you have all the industry. Update opposite la Sri Perumbudur, all the industry. But now what you do, if you are doing only this, it gets concentrated. Hence, you start a satellite city, which is satellite city is called as Mahindra city. Chengalpattu பக்கத்துல இருக்கும். நீங்க if you had seen Chengalpattu, when you are coming from Idana, you would have seen that Chengalpattu region where in the morning the bus வந்து it will be like not like a cess. You can cess or cess வந்து for example இது special economic zone வந்து you can create in ECR also la. What is that? Next to the JPR is a CESDA. So next to the JPR college and the Infosys next to the CESDA. Siriseri is a CESDA. Okay. But what I am saying is satellite town. For example, the Mahindra city is a satellite town. That is, you take you take something and you put it away from Chennai, so that people go. If you put it now, you will have people. Traders, they will go. Houses you have to build. Hospitals you have to build. Schools you have to build, because somebody coming from Infosys Mahindra city, if you go in Chengalpattu, you will have all the car companies, Honda, Hyundai, Nissan, every car company. They could have had the car company in Sri Perumbudur, because Sri Perumbudur la da tire company. If you see Saint or glass manufacturing, Saint Gobain, or the tire companies la anga da irukku. Sri Perumbudur la if you go, tire companies is in Sri Perumbudur. So they could have had the car company in Sri Perumbudur itself. Tire day vaangi poi maatidalaam. But they made that in because it should not be, it should have a balanced approach. Cost benefit analysis, it should have a balanced approach, and they will have it in this, so that part of the region goes there, and as a result of which Chengalpattu will grow, or the southern region of Chennai will grow, or southern region of India, or the middle part of Tamil Nadu will grow. So the regional feeling will not come. So only concentrating in Chennai it creates complexity. At the same time, it also creates that regional feeling. Only you are growing, I am not growing. So growth also distribute panna. So like this, I hope everyone is from Chennai. So that is why I am not giving example of Delhi. Maybe next class I will give one example of Delhi also. And the third point, okay. In our Tiruvallur district, there widespread development. What is new distance? Yes, on the Madda. So what Maheshwaran is saying is correct, in the sense that when the district is not possible now, it's true. The governance will not go. This will eradicate. Yes, this will impose satellite city for it is reducing not only one point. It is reducing regional feeling, but it is also reducing. Okay, satellite city is not only reducing the feeling of regionalism, it is also resulting in efficient utilization of resources. It is also reducing urbanization problem. It is also reducing environmental problem. But we are discussing regionalism. Yeah. So shall I start next in Pita? Sure. Okay. So, and third point on the second, we had state reorganization commission earlier, but now one more can be formed. So, what are all the say, so they see who is to decide whether it is a small state or a large state, or who is to say, for example, I feel Uttar Pradesh has to be bifurcated or trifurcated, or someone will say Tamil Nadu can be trifurcated. So who is to decide that? What basis has to be decided that? What is the norms? What is the logic? Who is to say? For that, second, state reorganization commission, all of that. So third point. And the next topic, you can, the more we can actually impact of regionalism, we have discussed more, but ana just copy மட்டும் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Next slide we can go. Communalism will go. Yeah, that is positive impacts of regional, many, that is what we discussed, many things, but promotes competitive growth வச்சுக்கலாம். And it helps in focused one region. For the example Mageshwaran gave was the Tiruvallur district la, some region feels that they have been left out now, they will have some other, and the headquarters they will change, so it will lead to local area development. It's necessary now. And preservation of languages, minorities, it happens. But update opposite la parna, opposite la you'll start having conflict for resources. Your region is developing, my region is not developing, so on the madi. So we'll go next slide. Okay, next is communalism. Okay, communalism, if you see in the topic on there, you should be very careful in writing. Next class also, I think communalism slide, secularism I will teach next class, and communalism slide. But see this is the usually regionalism they ask question, secularism they ask question, but communalism some year they ask. But when they are asking communalism question, you should be very very cautious that you are not pinpointing any religion. Yeah, this is a very sensitive question. Communalism na enna first and the point enna, ethnocentrism we saw. Yeah, ethnocentrism, or it is a feeling of my religion or one's own religion being greater than, superior than other religion. That is the religiosity or religion, or spirituality. If you see, spirituality is nothing but your understanding that we are all part of this human community, and God is one. Idan the concept. Spirituality means you are, we are all one. Yeah, but religion is separate. That is a religion. If you see, it is a feeling that it will have a elaborate structure, temple, church, idella irukum. I have the relationship between me and God is spiritualism. God, that is spiritualism. But religion, it will have rules, regulation, many things will be there. Rituals, it will have separate temple, mosque, many things will, church will be there. And hence what happens is that when that religious feeling that my religion is superior, my religion is superior, it leads to conflict, and that conflict is called as communalism. Yeah, but India, there are so many conflicts: Hindu-Muslim conflict, Hindu Christian conflicts, Sikh conflict. Many things are there. In this, we will discuss Khalistani next class. Yeah, what is that Khalistani movement? In the next class, I will give you a brief introduction. But brief introduction, secularism will go. But what I am saying is that don't in this question don't write any religion, pointing any religion. Yeah, it should be a very balanced approach and come out of this question. So now we'll go to this topic. Okay, so what is this communalism? Na, it is ethnocentric. See, it is an ethnocentric based on religion. It is a chauvinism based on religion. All of that. Yeah, and see, there is three stages now. In India, I feel there is three stages of communalism. For example, and this I will make this argument. Before 1857, India was not a communal state. That is, there was not this fight kadayadu. Okay, I will give you an example. For example, you would see that they will say that this Somnath temple, this is the thing which creates a lot of problem. Somnath temple was hit by a Ghazni. This was the example they give. Okay, or this example is used for creating communal clashes. So yeah, for its treasure. Okay, for its treasure is what they will say. For its other year for its treasure da. Why Ghazni hit was he wanted to, and the things he took from Somnath on the, he made that his whole region whole region for 3-4 years he did not tax that people. See why na solren paanga, in the sense that there were, in this region it is called as Malwa. I hope it's not coming just in this region is called as Malwa, and this region inge on the Maharashtra. Okay, but another this two region on the Hindu rulers, in the Hindu rulers also hit Somnath. The point, they also, if they don't get the money now, they go hit Somnath and they'll get the money. And the Malwa was ruled by a Rajput ruler, same as the case with Rajasthan. They also hit Somnath whenever they don't have money, and when they hit na, it will again be refurbished, again they will hit. Yeah, this is a practice which happened in everywhere. Why they do simple thanga? It's not basically religion, it is for treasure. Why this treasure and all na? These people are not rulers, they are called as warlords. The word is the warlords. Okay, warlords na, they are not very good people. Yeah, they are not like I am a follower of this religion, I have to apdila kediyadu. They want to have power, and in order to have power you have to govern your people properly. But they are warlords, single person now. Okay, single leader, I will do everything. Okay, that is not possible. Adanalda we have democracy, and we have so many officers, IAS, so many cabinet. Apiyume paranga what the situation is there. One leader cannot do anything. But these people were there, and hence misgovernance will happen. People will start revolting. How do you stop the people from starting revolting now? You have to give tax breaks. That is, you don't have to pay a tax. Okay, other than Nallachi, okay? You don't have to pay tax. For that, what they will do, they will start hitting all these things. They will go to war to one place, they get all the treasure, and they will bring, and they will give. In the case of Ghazni, for example, 3-4 years he did not tax the people at all with the money that he made in the. Yeah, and this is why I am saying is that if these communal clashes had been in 1857 before now, this would have all ramped up with so much of hatred, but it did not happen. This is one point. But the second point I will give you. Second example. Yeah, there is a person called as Rajendra Cholan. I hope you know Rajendra Cholan. Yeah, we eulogize. One religion eulogizes Ghazni, one religion eulogizes Rajendra Cholan. But you will know that this person was called as Gangai Konda Cholan. Correct? Gangai Konda Cholan. Why this called na? He went to Ganga and he conquered and he came. Okay? But in the route, expedite, yes. But in this route, he conquered this Bengal and Orissa. Sharia? And from Bengal, he plundered the Kali temple. He plundered the Kali temple. He brought back the statue of Kali. And Orissa, he plundered the Shiva temple and he brought back the statue of Shiva. This is in the sense that if this person had to be a very this religion and all had to be matter na, or Hindu king na, he would not have brought or hit all these temples. He would not have brought all these statues. Why I am saying is that before this, in the consciousness, what we think as this religion is beating that religion, it was not like that. They were all warlords. They were all war. But whether religious feeling was not there, na irundichu. Yeah, but this it was accepted. Yeah, if your king is an Hindu king, na, you will make rules like that. Your Islamic king, na, you will make rules like that. Yeah, but this kind, we now have become democracy. This kind of thing which is called as communalism, fight between the rendu goshtiyum, it was not that much. Okay. And example I told you this. So but after 1950, idan point. Okay, after 1857, what happened after 1857? Either you can equate it to idla vara and Palestine matter ku varalam. Okay, after 18, yes, Narasimha, many see they are adada soltana. See adanalda eulogizing kings, I don't agree with eulogizing. Great eல்லாம் கிடையாது. Eulogizing who is great, he எதுக்கு, why? But this is the point. We are blinded by our past and we think Rajaraja Cholan was a great, இப்படிதான் சொல்லுவாங்க. Rajaraja Cholan, for example, he, see how in the sense that this question they keep asking, why we are not able to build such a statue. See on that day how they built all these temples and all. ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல. You know, our Tamil Nadu GDP, okay, 20 I think 2 lakh crore. Tamil Nadu GDP is 2 lakh crore. சரியா? And our sorry 20, sorry, our Tamil Nadu GDP is 20 lakh crore. Our budget is 2 lakh crore revenue. Our budget is 3 lakh crore, but we get a revenue of 2 lakh crore, which is 20 lakh 2 lakh crore we get as revenue. ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, ஒரு budget அப்படியே I will transfer this 2 lakh crores to building a temple. Yeah. Yes, I will what I will do now, 1 year you give me, I will transfer the complete 2 lakh crores of money which I have to build a temple. I will build a better temple than this. The point what we don't think is that now you cannot do. 2 lakh crore is essential now. We want to spend for education, we want to spend for health, we want protection. For example, vaccine, at that time it was not there. So this thinking of a particular king being very great and he was protector of a particular religion, they were protector of themselves. They wanted to rule and they protected themselves, and for that they used whichever methodology was possible, and we assumed that it is good, but it's not true. And this was the case. This was the background. Now come to the point where after 1857 idhula da the fraud varuvanga, Britishers varuvanga. What these people will do, they will see this in the sense that if you see 1857 revolt, both Hindu and Muslims, both Hindus and Muslims together protested. Okay, together protested and together wanted the Mughal kingdom. Okay, if they really wanted a separate, in the clashes northern India, this clash or this 1857 revolt happened in northern India, which is when the great communal violence hot spot right now. In that northern India, when these two communities protested and went for British against the Britishers, who they wanted to get back? They wanted to get back the and the Shah Alam, they wanted to get back Shah Alam. Shah Alam was a Mughal king. So if they had this controversial thing of fighting, like you are an Hindu king, I am an Islamic, sorry, Bahadur Shah, okay, Shah, okay, Bahadur Shah name was the Shah Alam, okay, Bahadur Shah. But the point is that, okay, Bahadur Shah, yes, okay, I remembered him as Shah Alam, okay. But what I wanted to say was, they realized this fact. They realized this fact and they wanted to divide. And in the plot, there are 3 stages. Okay. What are all the 3 stages? The first stage, they will start identifying. That is, identify. What they will do now, they will make you separate. So, if you see in the census, in the sense 1880s or 1870s, they started making the census of religion, and they started making census of caste. They took two things. And society, see, society will have cleavages. Okay? It will be like society will have this fragmentation. our job as an IAS or our leader's job is to unite that. And the fragment இருக்கும், fault lines, they will say it as fault lines. And the fault lines we have to slowly unite. But ana easily I can just make a whip and crack that open. அது easy I can do. அது வந்து if you ask me அப்படியே மாத்தி I can say, okay, அது வந்து more than this I can say in the opposite direction. But our job is to weave that into a on the fault lines we have to reduce. The more you widen the fault lines, the more it goes out of hand. And the things which we see now, Israel Palestine, this is what happened. Okay, now coming to this, in the religion they started making the census, and hence first phase they started identifying. Second phase they will do this. What they will do now, for example, in every area they will identify this. In Israel Palestine, in Sri Lanka, in Africa, everywhere Britishers went, they will do this. What they will do now, they will identify the minority population which is 15% or over. They will take the minority population. In Sri Lanka, the minority population was Tamil. Yeah. In India, the minority population was Islam. Okay. In Rwanda, okay, they will have Hutu Tutsi in rendu per irukanga. There is a movie called as Hotel Rwanda. You can watch that. What these fellows they did. Hutu Tutsi are two tribes. In that, for example, Tutsi are 15%. Inge Tamil 15%. India la Islam 15%. In this second phase, what they will do now, they will identify these minorities and they will give higher importance for minorities. What they will do, for example, Karsan, remember, in the modern India la, what is that? Muslim League was formed. Modern India la Muslim League was formed, and the Muslim League goes to Karsan and asks for higher representation, not equal representation to the population. They will ask, engalukku the higher representation you have to give. Karsan will immediately give. Bengal partition, they wanted to stop, no. They wanted to have better, you are taking all the universities power, stop that and solvanga, no. But here immediate recognition for this and separate electorate. This is the plot they did in Sri Lanka also. This is the plot they did in Rwanda also. This is the plot they did all over the world. They will identify the minority population, and before stage itself they will identify. Next stage they will make this separate, the cleavage odaipaanga. And the cleavage tappunu oru adi, for example, as a result of which you will have RSS, you will have Hindu Mahasabha. So opposite, it will start developing. So in this second stage, when it starts developing, you will start having this confrontation. You are giving them all the things. This is the point which happened in Sri Lanka. That is what burned the whole place. Same way, Sinhalas were there. Tamils, you are being given all. If you see in 1950 la pathina, many of the civil servants, many of the big officers, many of the things were Tamil. Why it was, or educated? Most of the Tamils were educated. Sinhala population was not that, and that was a very blatant policy of Britishers. Okay, same way they did this year. And the third phase, this was the second phase. Third phase is all now. So third phase is fighting, partition. So these are the three stages. So communal violence, earlier it was okay, and then Britishers came, divide and rule. They have these three stages where they identify, then they give the second stage. Second stage they will give higher representation, and they will allow this Khilafat movement. For example, Khilafat movement will happen. Khilafat movement was for something which is happening in World War I. And the breaking up of Ottoman Empire. Aduthan the Palestine issue la Ottomans having the region na pesnapo and the Ottoman da ivanga. So it was an Islamic question. Why are you supporting all this? Britishers were making the what is the tunnel ali podute irupanga, and this happened, and as a result of which second phase la this fight started, and third phase la partition. So after independence, riots. அதுக்கப்புறம் இதோட கான்சிக்வன்ஸ் வந்து riots. ஓகேவா? I think முடியல ஆக்சுவலா. Can we have next classல can we have secularism and this we'll have. Okay. Is it okay next class la? Because online la series it's a very online not able to sit also. That is the point. Next class we'll two slides are there. Next class we'll fastly go. Yeah. Two slides I will explain fast. The slide and the next slide. Yeah. We'll next class we'll see. Yeah. Okay. We'll close the class today. Bye. All the best and be safe. Yeah. Actually, two more classes are left. Two more classes left. Usually, on the idhila edukumbodhu two more classes. But let us see. I'll try to finish off two more classes. La eppdiya mudichalla. Next class la on the when I take in class, actually it is more easy. But online, I don't. Offline in the sense class la I say even more things. But online it is really tough. But anyways, but let us see. We'll finish off. Okay. Next class. Yeah. Thank you. All the best. Yeah. Good night, everyone. Good night. Society, a different subject. Same subject. Same subject. Same. Kiran, same subject. Karan, same subject. Okay. See you guys.